we're live now. All right, guys. So thank you so much once again, Adedeji Adeoti. Glad to have you join us. You look fresher on video than the picture you sent to me. I think it's a tech thing. You understand? My boss is very fresh. It's just a tech thing. So like every webinar will start or any seminar will start, just tell us about yourself in just a few sentences. Just tell us about yourself.
Okay. My name is Adedeji Adeoti. You can just go for Deji Adeoti. I'm a software engineer. I have more than 8 years of experience, and I've worked in various sectors from telco, fintech, and consumer products. Then I did stuff for government agencies too. As an engineer, I prefer to write my code in Java, but my employer decides what I use daily. I studied electrical engineering at undergraduate level, and I enjoyed it. And that's been the start of my career until now. After school, I started as a software engineer, and I'm still working as a software engineer. That's the brief about me.
All right. Thank you so much for that. So you've been into this for 8 years. I mean, that's a lot. I think any child that is 8 years now, that child is already grown up. You understand? So that's really amazing. So on this call, actually, we have people that are just the desire to start their career as a software engineer. We have people that like someone said is a UI UX enthusiast, someone said is an AI person. We have people that are already software engineers. We have people that are already senior devs, like my boss, you understand? And we have people that maybe they are in the phase of trying to transition from being a junior dev into like something much more bigger. Do you get? So, but let's start for the sake of people that are on this call and they just want to have an idea of what software engineering is. So in a layman's term, what do you think software engineering is all about?
Software engineering is about creating tools that will make people's life easier, and you create these tools for the computer. So the computer is out there to do many things. So it's the role of engineer to be able to tune it to actually solve a particular problem. That's where software engineering comes in. It's just a discipline where you apply several knowledge from several fields: mathematics, linguistics, mechanical engineering, and just push it into one product and to solve a particular problem. So people who are solving stuff around text translation now, they have background in linguistics and background in computer science. So you assemble people from linguistics, people from computer science, and they brainstorm, solve a problem. So that software is a wide and broad discipline. So anybody who's doing software, they're actually solving problem for people. Yeah.
Okay. So basically we have a machine. We have the computer, which is the machine, and yes, the machine is meant to solve problems. But I mean, if you don't put the right language and tools into it to ensure it solves that problems efficiently, it won't do that. So the job of a software engineer is basically to tune and unscrew and screw and put two and two together to ensure that the computer is doing what it's supposed to do, basically.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I think for someone like me that does not really know what software engineering is about, I mean, I'm into administration and communication. I think I have an idea now. All right. So why software engineering? Because you said you did electrical engineering. You could have been working with THC. You could have been working with PhD. What spurred your interest into software engineering?
Okay. If I've been working with PhD, then you have more power in your house than you do now. All right, but in school we did some programming courses. I enjoyed them and they came naturally to me because writing program was you write program for many of the courses I studied, electrical engineering. So basically, we were targeting hardware, but I moved on from there. Hardware was expensive to assemble materials, resistors, um, ICs, that's integrated circuits. And once you burn a component, you have to buy another. So that was how I started. But it's quite expensive to be assembling components and doing stuff, but I liked it. So after school, a friend told me he wanted to training for an academy and asked if I would be interested in teaching web or Java. I just chose Java. And naturally, my career then, I was tilting towards networking. That was how I forgot certification that I was planning at that time. I was actually studying to do a networking certificate. I forgot about it. I picked up Java books and I brushed up my knowledge and I did a training. So after the training, I just fell in love with programming again. How about the hardware, and I started writing desktop applications. From went for service, I continued learning, and after service, I was lucky to get a software engineering job, and that was how my career began. So more like an opportunity came, and I wouldn't say I was ready, but I presented myself to it.
That's really amazing. I think your the beginning of your software engineering just basically is something like my mom always tell me, that luck is when opportunity meets preparedness. And understand, the opportunity came, but you had been prepared before, and so you are just able to take advantage of it. That's really amazing. So now you work with Microsoft, and basically there's this thing among the last cohort that we had. Some of them are even here. If you're a big man, they start shouting Dogu, everything, you're a boss, this and that, you understand. But I want to just ask, how was it at the beginning for you? What was your first job or first gig, as you guys say it? What was your first job? And looking back now, like how was it basically?
My first job was interesting, and then I was a newbie. The tech stack that they were using there wasn't what I was even familiar with. They were using C#. My background was in Java, but the manager then he had Java background, and he was looking to start some projects in Java. So he was happy when I joined. I did not know what he saw in me, but I think I'm happy he gave me the opportunity. I joined the company, Splashers Tech. It's now part of VGG. And there I would say that was where I grew, because there were several senior engineers that you could look up to, and they were available, they were helpful. So I'd say I grew on their shoulders. So that's the start of my career. Then I'd say one shouldn't go for the money, because I had other offers then, even still for networking. I got an offer to join a networking company, which looks okay, even compared to the software. But I chose the software, and I do not regret it till today. They paid the salary is little, but I grew. So it's in that choice I made.
That's really amazing. If there's something I've been able to deduce from what you said, the first, let me start from the last, is that money should not be your basic inspiration, because your first job really, really shaped you, and then you had a boss that believed in you, and then you had mentorship. And I think that's very important. It's one of the culture that we've inculcated as an academy of learning. We always ensure that our students have mentors, because it's not enough for you to just come to class and learn. It's very important that you have a group of people that have walked the same path you are walking, and to an extent you'll be able to imitate them, and that would be really, really helpful. So for any junior dev that is on this call, or anyone that is just beginning a career, I hope you are jotting things down so that you can know that you really can't do this alone. You need someone to believe in you, someone like a sponsor, and you also need mentorship. So all right, thank you for that. I also going through your biography. I know that you worked with InterSwitch
Yes.
before you moved to Microsoft. So I think they call that like a fintech.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you moved from a fintech to Microsoft as an enterprise. How was the transition? Was there any extra skill you had to just learn? Did you have to like go the extra mile to be able to fully adapt to your new job? Or how was it for you?
Yes. So software has some basic foundation that once you get it right, and move to any field. So some fields are specialized. You need special knowledge of those fields to excel there. But there are some foundational things that once you have, you can actually adapt gradually and new things. So I was happy that that foundation was there for me. There are some specific stuff around fintech that one has to get right, else it down and you may end your career because you don't like what's happening when the company loses money. So get that foundation knowledge there for building software. Then I moved into InterSwitch, a fintech. This place we deal with money. If one cover is missing,
Mm.
somebody will find out. There's a team that's tracing it, and they'll raise a flag that one cover is missing. So everything you do should be accurate. You want to satisfy customer, you know, your system should be resilient. You should be able to bounce back from failure. So all those things you have to have under your belt as an engineer. So accuracy in fintech is pretty important. Then the ability to bounce back from failure so important because you have to give the customer his money if something fails. It's just a rule. Or if the transaction is successful, you have to give him the good. So those are the basic stuff there. So I would say having a good foundation before
Mm.
joining fintech actually helped me. I was able to some skills around fintech also. But one thing is important as a software engineer, you will daily there's a daily need to acquire knowledge and you have to
Yeah.
be open. The
Mm.
way you did it last year is not may not be optimal. There are new technologies that you should be able to incorporate, and sometimes the shiny new technology may not actually work in your particular scenario. So just
Mm.
be open and be ready to learn.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I mean, not foundation. Foundation is very important. It's very, very important because our just concluded cohort. I mean, the testimony we had from most of the junior devs was the fact that even though some of them had a bit of experience, the fact that they had to start from the beginning, they knew that if the foundation be destroyed, there's nothing the developer can do. So having a good foundation makes it easy to build things on it, so that no matter what industry, no matter what subfield you find yourself in the tech industry, it's easy for you to like adapt, to be somewhat flexible to learning and open to learning and as such. Okay. So I think we've heard a bit about yourself, your job history. I want us to go to the tech industry. um there's no doubt about the fact that there is a certain skill gap in the tech industry in Africa today. What would you say is the major cause of that? Some people have cited lack of awareness. Some people have cited the fact that the education system in Nigeria is not really encouraging. But there's no doubt about the fact that we have bright minds. But what would you say is the major things that the tech skilled industry in Africa is lacking?
Uh, there's a lot of stuff that we like in Africa. I can't just point to one exactly, but I
Mm,
think we should do more around awareness.
mm,
So software is not. I'm happy when I saw the pictures from your academy, and I say interest. I was happy that people are seeing software as a career, not just what geeks do. They are seeing software as what anybody can just come into. Because before now, people will say, "Oh, it's just for geeks," And the way they define geeks is not even the brain, just geeks as people who are not neatly dressed, who have dirty hair. And so when I
And
saw, yes, when I saw pictures from your academy, I saw people neatly dressed. I was impressed. So that's, by the way, I'm just saying we should do more around awareness. It's really important. Anybody can do software. There are several aspects of software. I remember I saw one article your CEO wrote, areas that you can take in tech that is not even development. So I think the article has gone viral. I think we can even to make it go viral further. So there should be we don't have enough hands in Africa, and the ones who are now senior developers, they are leaving the continent. So we need to get more people on board, and thank God for organizations like this. But I think if there are more organizations like this doing this, then we'll be better. Then maybe I'll put this to CodeNest. We should start working around scaling. Maybe not just graduating 50 students per cohort. We shouldn't look at that. Maybe we should be looking at 1,000, say, every quarter.
Yeah, we can do that. We definitely are on the way to doing that.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you so much. As an administrator in the tech industry, I have been doing a lot of research about tech, and I can see that technology is the future. And for anyone out there who has the interest in technology, and please can we kindly mute ourselves? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. For anybody out there who is interested in technology but is not sure about what the future holds, I just want to ask you, as someone that has been in the industry for 8 years, looking back then and now and projecting in the future, what do you think the value of technology will be in the next 10 years?
And the next, technology will be everywhere. Like we have now. You want to download stuff on the internet, a 2 MB file may take like 3 hours in Nigeria, but now you can do it easily. I'm just using the internet as an example. So computers will get more advanced, we have more power. And I'll say software engineers will just be at the center of these things. As technology advances, everything will still revolve around software. Software is just like the hot cake now. It's just like the oil job now. So when I say software now, I'm not just saying coding. I'm talking about business analysis. I'm talking about design. So we'll be at the center of this. So there will be software everywhere. The way we do computing will change. We may not just be interacting with 2D screens. It may be 3D. It's already happening. The way we collaborate will change. You look at Google Meet and you'll be like, what's this? It's archaic, because there will be better means to. So software will just be at the center of everything. So we still need more software engineers, especially here in Africa.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So another thing that came to my mind is that, you are able to transition from electrical engineering, and there might be some people on this call with different backgrounds. I know people that like they did medicine and they're now into engineering, and they're able to kind of incorporate their knowledge of technology into medicine. So technology is not only like coding, like you said. It's going to be in agriculture. It's going to be in fintech. We already know that, likes of Paystack, Flutterwave, and all that. It's going to be in healthcare systems. Now, it's being debated in the House of Assembly whether we should do electronic voting. So it's going to be in governance, too, in politics. So
yes.
technology, as you said, is going to be the catalyst in every sector of whatever exists in this world.
Of mankind, yeah.
Yeah, and there will always be a need for technology. So even currently, we don't have enough employable tech people, not to talk of the future when tech is going to be at the center of it all. So tech is not something you come into and start saying, if you know what you are doing, they will look for you. I at least that's one thing I know about.
Very true.
You'll be sought after. So all right, thank you so much, Adedeji Adedeji. I also want you to advise someone out there. This is not going to be like a very long call. If you have any question, guys, please just start dropping it in the chat box. If there's anyone that is listening right now, or that will be listening in the future, what would you advise? What would you say are the 5 major skills a software engineer that is beginning should have? What would you say 5 major skills?
Okay, the first thing I'll say, hunger. You have to be hungry to do things. Yes, you have to be ready to create stuff. Because as a starter, let's say you don't have a job, you should be ready to engage yourself. You may start as a designer, you're just creating screens of how an application will work. You want to solve a problem for your own field. If you're a doctor, if you're a dentist, how should people visit you? Do you want to improve the way people visit you? You can start sketching. So you have to be that hungry to do stuff. By the time you know it, someone will see your sketch and be like, I think I can implement this. You implement it, and there you go. So just get yourself engaged. If you want to do coding, you can pick up Android, you can pick up iOS and start developing. Just be hungry to do something. Because as a beginner, when you go for interview, they know you don't they want, but they just want to know if you have tried something before, to know what you learned and how you are moving on. That's just what they want to know. I've interviewed several young developer entry level, and my boss would just ask me, have they done something before? After all my 45 minutes with them, you just want to know if they've done something before. If you want them, but if you have not done anything, there's probably we'll start from ground zero, and we are not ready to start training you on many stuff. We just want someone that we give the basic knowledge and it can help with our business. So I'll say, be hungry to do stuff, be hungry to acquire knowledge. IT changes every day. Technology is advancing every second. New stuff are coming out, and consume knowledge. You can't be in IT and say you don't want to read. You'll be forced to read. You see a problem that you've never seen. And if you're working on bleeding edge stuff, you will see a problem that nobody has ever seen. So who will solve the problem that nobody has ever seen? It is the person who created it. So that's it. Then again, for an entry-level person, I'll say, when you want to make a choice of a place to work, make sure they have senior developers there on whose shoulder you can rest. And it will save your life. You're not starting from scratch, because engineering, IT is just like apprenticeship. You see what someone has, how they do it, and you can just layer on it and build yourself too. So I would say, don't just go for the money. Look for a place where they are doing stuff and where they have people who are doing stuff, people who are brilliant, and go there. I know these days we have people who are earning in foreign currency, and as a starter, don't be intimidated by that with your own little amount. Start with whatever they are paying you there. We know it's peanut. After a while, once you develop your skill, someone will be ready to pay for those times that you spent developing yourself. It's just natural. I think I've mentioned 3. Those are the 3 that came to mind at the.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, I think I just have like maybe just one more question to ask you, and then we'll go into like answering questions, because I mean, I've been seeing an array of questions in the inbox, and these guys they came ready for you. They all came ready for you. So you've been into this for 8 years, and I am sure. Okay, let me just say I have 2 more questions. You mentioned the fact that you've been interviewing junior devs. what would you say is one particular trend that is not helpful that you have seen among junior devs, as you know, as you've been interviewing them?
Okay, I'd say some people just want to the field, and just because they've done a little programming in school, or because nothing is coming forth from other ventures. I think people need to prepare themselves for the career. If they are really chosen to come into software engineering, they should get prepared. Do your homework first, prepare yourself, get some basic knowledge yourself. I see people who have CVs as photographers, and what you've been doing in the past 6 months is photography. You've not written code. And because your friend has presented your CV now, because you studied computer science in school, you think you can. It doesn't work that way. So invest in yourself. If you know you want to do this, just focus on it. You may be doing your other stuff by the side, but let people know that you actually came prepared for that. You just heard about it. Then these days, people test around algorithms. So whatever you want to, they say as a coder, you'll be writing code, and we want to see you write code. There are several debates around that does not really measure how good a person is in software. I don't really care. If this is what it takes to enter a particular organization that you want to join, I think you should go for it. If they do algorithms, start practicing algorithms, then you get in. If it's project, if you know that they do, some companies, they give you projects to take home projects, you do it in like 2 days or 1 day. If that's, prepare yourself for it and do it. Get in. Getting in is your business. It's not how they want you to come in. So I think people should really get prepared for what they want to game the system, cheat the system. Like if it's an algorithm that will help you enter a company, study algorithm, present yourself, take their test. If it's project, practice those projects. Have an insider. What are the kind of projects, assignments they give? Start practicing around that. Once they give you, do it, and you get in. Yep.
Wow. What you're saying really resonates with what I've heard a lot of senior devs tell junior devs. The fact that don't see software engineering as a side gig. Like you have a major business you are doing, then software engineering is not your side gig, and you like it's something. If I always tell people that if you could take 4 years out of your life and go to uni, some people spend 5, some people spend 6, based on the way Nigeria is just programmed, and you end up not using that certificate, and you want to go into another industry. Don't just take out 3 months and say you now want to start going to I want to dedicate to building myself as a software engineer. So another thing is that if you have a company that you are trying to get into, do your research, know what they require, know what people that work there have, and start building your portfolio from now. So thank you so much for that, sir. Last but not the least, before we go into our questions, I would love to know. I mean, you've been leading teams, and there are people here that they're not just junior devs; they're also transitioning into senior developers. As a leader, someone that's been leading teams, and it's beyond just coding now. It's having soft skills. So, what soft skills have helped you as a leader?
Okay, as a leader, you have to be patient because someone will annoy you, and you have to see it from their own side too. And someone in your team may not be learning as fast as you want them to learn. You have to be patient too. Then again, I have learned to be nice. Just be nice to people. Don't be too harsh because someone is not getting it the first time. Doesn't mean get it. Just be nice. Call them over. I think it's missing. This is what I wanted to check. I've given someone a book when the person joined newly, and the person really appreciated it. That's a book around craftsmanship, clean code. I remember clean code. So recently I was speaking with the guy, and the guy was like, "Thank you for that book. Then just see what someone is lacking, and do you mind reading this?" And you're helping the person. Don't just throw them away. You have to help. Just be nice to people. I've learned to be nice, learn to be patient with people. Then your knowledge is not unique. Several people have the idea you have, but some other people have seen a problem before that you've never seen. So I think a senior engineer should sometimes take a back seat and let people do stuff. If people don't do stuff, they won't grow. So don't just say, "Oh, this is our project," then you rush into it and there's nothing for the junior developer to do. Just do the design, ask people questions if they understand what you're trying to build, assign tasks, and let people go and monitor. Yeah. So give people chances, be nice to people, and be patient with them.
All right. Thank you so much. So now we'll go to our questions. I think the first question is from. Okay, hello, sir.
Yeah, just hold on, please. Hi, Deji.
Hi, Mr. CEO.
Yeah, so I'd like to ask a question on behalf of course, junior developers and incoming devs. We've seen a lot of things on Twitter, on social media platforms where people talk about remotes. Yeah, the future is remote, like anything other than remote. I'm not going to take that, something like that. What would you say to junior developers or aspiring devs? Should they, if they get a job that requires them to come physically to the office, should they reject that and opt for a foreign gig that will pay them pounds, dollars? Everybody wants to be paid in dollars now and pounds. So I was just wondering, what would you say to these people at this time?
To a younger engineer, I would say go for the experience. Go for the experience. No, the money will come eventually. It's certain. Just go for the experience. If the experience will come in the dollar, get it. If the experience will come in the naira that is readily available, get it. In Nigeria, you can't be a software engineer and say you don't have a job for say 4 months. I don't think it's possible if you are really sure of what you are doing. Something will come. You may not like it, but something will come. So if they're offering you something in naira, whatever they are offering you, I think you should take. Build your skill. If it's something you like, if you don't like it after a while, you can switch. Once you get the experience, you can now be aiming for the dollar. Just relax. It's not about money at the start. It's about experience. Somebody will eventually pay for your experience. It's very sure. So go for the experience, and afterwards, money will come.
Great. Thank you so much for that. So one last question. Yeah, I think it's very important. So we might have some people that will be interested in joining Microsoft in the future. Everybody wants to work with the big boys and InterSwitch. So what would you say the requirement is to land a job in a company like InterSwitch, if it's a company, and then Microsoft, because you have experience in you've worked with both of them, and then so what do you suggest to people so that they can start preparing now and they at least have a roadmap for themselves?
Okay, I'd say to the two companies, their recruitment style is similar. They do algorithms, not projects. So I'll say anyone who is interested, a younger engineer, should start doing stuff around data structure and algorithms. Because even on the job, I hear stories that people say you may not eventually do algorithms. There's some work that you want to do that require you to use all these data structures and algorithms. So for the two companies, I think you should practice algorithms, practice data structure. You can check leetcode.com. You can check firecode.com. Then there are ones too that I can't remember at the moment. Then you should have something in your portfolio. They want to know if you've done something before. So just start doing something. Just start doing something, even if it doesn't make sense. At the interview, you may question that, how did you do this when this happened? You may not have the experience from your workplace, but because you took a side project, I'm not even saying a side gig that will pay you money, because you're just interested in something, you were learning about it. You can give the answer. It's part of you, it's part of your experience. You learned it anyway. So start doing. There are questions around behavioral to how you reacted to your colleague or your senior when a particular situation came up. So you have to be able to answer that correctly too. And in answering that correctly, you don't have to lie. If you've done well in your interpersonal relationship, then no. If you're lying, no. So just be nice to people, because other than technical knowledge, they want to know if you relate well with people, because eventually you'll be working with people and not just. Yep. So that's just the two common things around the two companies.
Thank you so much for that. I think that'll be all. It's great having you on the call today, PG.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I think I learned from that, a senior dev to another senior dev. We celebrate you guys. All right. Let me go to the first question. The first question is from Tomiwa Adedeji. She says, he or she, pardon me, says, how do we incorporate tech into fostering the economy? So I think, to just paraphrase, I think the person is trying to say, how can technology help the Nigerian economy?
As long as technology is helping people's businesses, technology will contribute to Nigeria's economy. So it may not just be payment alone, because most of what we have around in Nigeria is payment. Our payment was disintegrated and people are coming up to solve the problem. So an opportunity will open up elsewhere. If I can get my passport in 2 days, I've saved time. I could attend to another business outside of the country. I could travel almost as soon as possible. I make more money, I make more dollars, I help the country. So we have to do well in technology. It will really help a lot if we have many things in place, if our internet is good, if our power system is good. So you don't have to waste time doing crazy downloads. You have resources at your fingertips. You can do stuff on your phone. Then you don't have to waste money on buying fuel to power your generator. So life will become so easy, and we can actually do something that will contribute to the economy. As long as you're exchanging your skill and you're getting paid, you will spend the money you are paid. And as long as you're spending the money you are paid, you're contributing to the economy, because you're buying stuff and trade is happening. And if trade is circulating, so you're actually contributing to the economy.
All right. Thank you so much. So it's like a cycle. When things are easy, you're helping the economy, and tech is definitely going to help to make things easy. So, all right. Thank you so much. From Ogunriola Victoria, she says she started her journey into AI about a year ago, and she currently teaches AI fundamentals and data science. And she recently got 2 certifications from Microsoft. She says she looks forward to working with FAANG companies and the likes. I'm sure you probably have an idea of what that is. She said, what advice would you give? And then another person in line with that question says, what does it take to work in FANG? So what advice would you give, and what does it take to work there?
Okay. So it's just working in fun is not just about being brilliant. I'll say it's about opportunity came and you're ready, you were prepared. The luck. That's just the luck that you need. There was at that very time you were ready, you applied. So I say it starts with grooming yourself, taking those certifications. They are cool, but those certifications, make sure they are tailored towards the role that you want to apply for. You can go on this company's website and see the roles that you like. Look at the knowledge that they're asking for. Look at the certifications they're asking for, and give yourself a space of maybe 6 months to 1 year. Try to develop yourself in that area, build your skill in that area. Then you can start applying. You may not get the job almost immediately. You may not even get the job in 1 year, but because you have a goal in mind and you are training yourself towards achieving it, it will happen. So don't get frustrated if you take. I've seen people make Excel sheets of the interviews they are taking, and someone said he has taken up to 300 interviews within a year. Like, I'm like, wow, people are really trying. So, but you don't have to take as much as 300 interviews in a year. You don't have to. Just prepare yourself. Some people are not that patient to take as many as that interview, but you yourself and know that, okay, I'm just going for 10 interviews, and in these 10 interviews, I should be able. So it starts with preparing yourself, check the roles they have, their openings, and see matches. If your skill matches, then you should apply. Don't disqualify yourself. And we are lucky now that they're opening offices everywhere in the world. So you're not limited to going to America. You can check the offices in Europe. You can check the offices in Africa. You can check the offices in South America and apply. Don't just limit yourself to, okay, I want to go to America. I want to go to America. They have offices everywhere. These fan companies, they have another offices in Europe. So just make sure you're looking at the right for yourself.
Okay, thank you so much, Victoria and Tomiwa. I trust that you have been able to answer your questions. Do your research and start building from now, so that when the opening comes, you're ready and they say, oh, she was lucky or he was lucky. All right. So Ayodele says you talked about growth when working for a company. You mentioned the fact that as a junior dev, you should ensure that the company you want to work for, there is growth there. Said, is the growth personal, or does it depend on the organization you're working for?
Okay, I would say it's both. There's no way you build yourself and you won't contribute to the growth of the company you're working for. And there's no way the company may be growing and you are not developing. It could happen. Maybe what is contributing to the bottom line in the company is not the product you're working on, or maybe you don't like your job. But I'd say there's no way that you are developing yourself and the company, and you won't be able to contribute in the company. So personal development. And when I say be selfish, I'm not saying that you should abandon your office to train yourself. Just make sure that in the work that you are doing, you are training. You can set goals. Okay, this is what I want to learn. And you can talk to your manager that, okay, in the next 1 year, this is what I want to have achieved. And these are the kind of tasks I want you to assign to me. So I know organizations are trying to build that, to create that rapport between managers and their teammates. So just go for it. Like, take advantage of that. Speak to your manager regularly. Like, don't just wait for when it's time for KPI. Always ask for feedback. You can set up a, say, bi-weekly one-on-one and ask, what have I been doing well and what do you think I should improve on? So be selfish about your personal growth. If the company decides to lay everybody off, you go. But what you have added to yourself is still with you. Please don't abandon your office work and say you are training yourself. Don't take the time for work to be solving algorithms. You can start solving your algorithm once it's at the close of your work, say 5, 6. Yeah, it's fine. Game the system, but don't cheat your employer.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Even I think anybody that's not even into tech alone, anyone that works anywhere can apply that advice. Like no matter where you're working, look for feedback, be very intentional about your personal goals, and work in an environment that is very concerned about your growth. So thank you so much. Simi says, do certifications matter? And if yes, as a software engineer, which should you start with?
I can't tell exactly which you should start with, but I know based on my experience, if you're an Android engineer, if you work around Android, there are Google certifications for Android. You can take that. Then if you do DevOps, I think you should start doing stuff around Kubernetes and cloud. They are very important. There are several certifications, but it depends on the field you're working in. Certifications are just a way to tell someone that you have actually mastered a particular skill. So, but really, some companies don't go after certification. But if you want to work in a company like Deloitte, KPMG, they want your certification. So if that's your interest, get as many as you can get. And the more certification you have, the more valuable you are to them, because their clients actually want this kind of certification. They want people who are certified, because being certified says that you know what you are doing, you've mastered a skill. So if you are looking to work in those environments, your certification is important. If you are looking to work in some other places, like the places where I've worked before, in my own role, I don't think certification was required as much. So, but it's always to your own advantage. You don't lose anything trying to take certifications. And even when you come with this certification, it'll actually you have superior knowledge or you're an expert at something. So if there's a problem around it, around a project, they can always say, oh, we know Deji as this certification, Deji should have done something around this. Yeah, so if you're a DevOps person and you came in with a Kubernetes certification, so anything Kubernetes, just know it will land on your table. If you have done Linux certification, and if there's anything on server on your Linux, on the company's Linux server, just know it will land on your table. So taking certifications actually puts you out there and lets people know that what you do. So just check your field and know which certifications are valid and take them.
All right, thank you so much for that. So Simi, you know now that certifications are not that compulsory, but they don't take away from you, they rather add to you, and it makes you open to opportunities, like we've rightly been saying from the beginning. Okay. Mathematics with Edu Ada, that's his name, says that thanks to Mr. Deji and CodeNest for this opportunity. Please, how does one with a mathematics background delve into data analytics and also do well? And the other part of his question says, can you recommend a reputable data analytics outfit or academy? Thanks.
Okay, I'll say for a person with math background, you are at an advantage if you're going into data analytics, because those statistical stuff, they are just natural to you, and you don't have to learn, so you don't have to beat yourself around so many things. So you're at an then for training, I don't know training outfits offering data analytics, but I know Udacity has some trainings. And the good thing around Udacity is that you can apply for their scholarships. So if you see a scholarship opening, you can apply for it and tell them why you want the scholarship. I have many friends who have received their scholarship. Even a nano sometimes they offer scholarships. If you're interested in a nano degree, you can write them, I want this nano degree. You can tell them maybe you're a student that you think after school you need this skill. Since you're in school now, you don't have enough money to pay for this. They actually consider that advantage. There are several courses on data analytics on Udacity. You can check Coursera too. There should be some there too. And if you're buoyant enough, you can just check Udemy. Udemy has a lot of it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I hope that he has been able to answer your question. Olawale Abdulwahab says that what can you say about embedded systems programming? He says he's currently a back-end dev, but he's looking at embedded systems programming. What advice would you have for him? And should he move on, or should he just stick to his back end? Thank you. So I saw someone raising up their hands. Please, if you have any questions, please just type it in the chat box and I'll just read it out for you. Thank you so much. So back to Wahab's question, sir.
Okay. So that question depends on your interest. If you think you like embedded systems, you want to hardware, you can start making the switch. You can take it gradually, because in our economy, you can't be idle. Some money has to be coming in for you to sustain yourself, except you have a sponsor. But I'd say if you are really interested in it, you can go for it. But if you're not sure you're really interested in it, maybe you just saw some fancy projects, you can take your weekends or times after work, start building yourself. By building yourself in that aspect, a time will come that I want to do this. Then you can start building personal projects, you can start attending interviews. So you can just make it transitional. Like, don't just cut off from back-end programming. Start taking your own side projects, learn, and this is what you want to do. Once you're sure this is what you want to do, then go for it.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I think the last question that we have today says, is it advisable from Buluwatife Demokon? He or she says, is it advisable to learn many programming languages?
You can learn many programming languages, but be very proficient in, say, two. Start two that you know in and out of it. Then other ones will just come naturally. You can, so if you master two, say you can master Java, and you can master C++, or maybe a new language. You can master a new language, say a language like Rust, or you can master PHP. You've mastered like two very different languages that have different styles. So if you've mastered that, you can say you want to master, say, Kotlin, you want to master Go. So they are kind of diverse. If you master those two extremes, then you can start learning some other ones like Python. Other ones will come naturally to you. You can see a code written in another language, and you will understand what they're trying to do. And even if you're debugging, you can actually know what is happening. But I don't think you can say you've mastered 15 languages in a very short career. I don't think you can say. I know people who don't even know stuff around JavaScript, but they've mastered C++. So when you're saying, when you're talking about NPM, they don't really know. But these guys, they've mastered C, they've mastered C++, and it's working well for them. So I'll say go for two. If you go for two, then master two, then the other ones you can just be at intermediate level. Yes.
All right, all right. So you will not become jack of all languages, master of none. Yeah. So thank you so much, Mr. Adedeji. That was an amazing time. Okay, a question just came in. Okay, this is particularly about Microsoft. Tomiwa says, do you necessarily need to have a Microsoft certification to work with Microsoft?
No, you don't.
Okay. So you personally, you did not have a
For my role, it wasn't needed. I'll say, but if you check the role you want to apply for, maybe you're doing stuff around and say business intelligence. You may want to take a certification around Power BI just to show that you actually know this technology that they are building or that they are using. So, but for my role, Microsoft certifications were not needed. It will be needed in the future based on technology trend. But for my role, it's
all right. Thank you so much, sir. I really can't stop saying thank you because it's been an amazing time with you. Guys, if you really enjoyed today's webinar, and I trust that you did, please just kindly say thank you to Mr. Deji, and thank you to CodeNest too for putting this together. I'm sure that a lot of us already have like a roadmap to how to start our career or how to transition, what to do, what not to do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Mr. Adedeji is available on LinkedIn, right?
yes.
We can follow you, right? And
Yes.
we can come into your DMs when we have personal questions about our
Sure.
career.
Sure.
Yeah, it's always readily available. So everyone is saying thank you in the chat box. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
So, guys,
Thanks for attending.
yeah. Before we go, I want to just inform you that CodeNest is accepting applications for the August cohort. We are taking in applications and we're starting front-end courses. We just graduated some .NET and Flutter guys, 25 of them, and it was really amazing. We have some of them on this call, and it was really amazing. It was the demo that I was showing before we started, and to the glory of God, and 14 out of them are already, able, stable and employed, and it was an amazing journey. Yeah. Thank you. And I just want to tell you that, like what Mr. Adedeji said, the future of technology, the future of Africa, the future of the world is so much intertwined with technology. If you are looking out for the best time to start, it is now. And if you are looking out for the best place to start, it's with CodeNest. So just go to, let me just type it in, www.codenest.ng, and we will help you start from there. CodeNest.ng. Yes. So thank you so much for your time, guys. Thank you for attending. Thank you for taking time out. Thank you for interacting. Thank you for everything. My name remains Gladys Ojelade. I'm the student success manager at CodeNest Africa, and I don't know if my boss has any other thing to say. Hello, sir, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you, DG. Thank you so much for your time. It was very insightful session. We hope to have you again in our subsequent series. Yeah. So to the audience, just anticipate our next session. Hopefully next month, we're going to have another speaker on the call. So just get ready. It's going to be amazing, super packed with a lot of insightful information and all of that. And then, yes, as Gladys said the other time, we can help you get started with your career in tech. Just visit that website, CodeNest.ng, and you won't be the same again in 6 months. All right.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much for. Okay. Adedeji say we should raise awareness around IT, and we should post Temidayo's article on social media channels. Okay, we're going to please go to CodeNest Africa, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Even on Twitter is banned. For those of us that we are, good Nigerians that will use VPN to enter, you can still follow us everywhere. We'll work on that actually. We'll make the post available to everybody. I'll probably put it in our newsletter or something. So, all right. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
What's up?
Bye, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Tomiwa. Thank you, Ayodele. Thank you, Ayodeji. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everybody. Josiah, I see you. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Simi. Thank you guys for coming. Yeah.